What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. I hope you guys had a good day. The news was crazy today. It's gonna be that way for a while, but today was a lot going on in the news. I had to pick and choose some of the insane things. I don't know if you guys got a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it, but I watched certain parts of this uh, presser or meeting with the South African president. I think it's Cyril Ramaphosa, Ramaphosa. I don't know how you say it. Ramaphosa. But I saw them in this presser before they actually had their meeting. They're better than me. I'm gonna say, President Cyril, you're better than me, bro. I'm gonna give it to you 100% because I would have went ape shit on that dipshit. I'm gonna tell you that 100. And they ain't no. Soon as you tried to like ambush me with video, when have they ever done this? I mean, think about this for a hot second. They brought in uh, the president of Ukraine, obviously the one who has been and we basically an ally with America. We've been giving them money for purpose of fighting off Russia from stealing their land, because right after that it's like Poland and other places, and if Poland is in a situation where Russia tries to take that property, we have to go to war. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. See, that's why Donald Trump and all of them are trying to get out of the UN and all stuff like that, because they want Russia to win and they want us not having to fight. Why do you think Donald Trump has this dreams of grandeur to be just like Putin, trying to take over other countries in Canada? He wants to do the exact same BS that Russia's doing. But American citizens don't want that, and we're fighting against that. But are we fighting hard enough? I don't know. I don't know. I would hope so. But the thing is, at least we're fighting. At least many of us are. But if you didn't get a chance to see it today, this man brought in video, told everybody to dim the lights. This would be, the Orange Cretin. And he tells them to dim the lights. Now, they don't rehearse this. They got the video. He's calling out for the person who's supposed to play the video. They put a whole production together. When this meeting was supposed to be about two leaders of countries coming together respectfully, trying to figure out issues that this country, for some reason, has labeled that country to be something that they're saying that they're not. And they're asking, hey, where's the proof? So every independent source has found out that what Trump is saying is a complete lie. It's not happening in South Sudan, but South Africa. He brings in the white South African, Elon Musk, to sit there. I thought he was done with everything, but no, he's sitting there to validate the BS in which they're trying to perpetrate. They show video, but don't tell you a source or where this video is coming from. They show you a long procession of a funeral, and there's a bunch of, white little markers. It's supposed to be on the side of a road. That is, you see the side of the road. On the side of the road, they done bury people right there on the side of the road. He's talking about those little white markers. You go watch the video. They're on the side of the road. That's where they just killed a bunch of farmers. It really doesn't even make sense visually that you would have a bunch of people driving, and I mean, on the sidewalk, there is a bunch of funerals, a bunch of like people who've been killed. Just like we have in the military, you have a bunch of white little crosses. These little signs were not. And while that's playing, the president of South Africa, along with his aides, are trying to turn around and look at what this is. The president himself is looking at it like, where the hell is this? I haven't even seen this. I'm the president of this damn country. I don't know where that's at. Where is that? And they don't have any answers as to where it is or what it is. No source, no nothing. Just a visual. And you know you can't trust Trump or his little red tie brigade. If you go and see that video, they're all sitting on the couch dressed the exact same. Like they're going to a dipshit prep school. And I'm like, what is this video and why are you showing it? Because they're trying to get you to attach to that video, which they haven't attached a source to tell you where it is, what it's about. For all we know, this could be a celebration of some sort, or just one funeral where they put some stuff out just to represent maybe somebody big died. We don't know, but we got to take his word for it. It's just insane. I don't see how on earth they put that in front of the American people without validating it with the American people. And then have the president of South Africa and treat him with such disrespect. That's why I say you're better than me, Mr. Cyril, President Cyril. You're better than me because you were calm throughout the whole process. I would have told him to fuck his dead mother. Because there's no way in hell I would have sat there and watched that shit and been like, yo, wait, ho. Where is that? If you don't know what that is, I would look right into the camera. This is trash. This is propaganda. If he don't know where it is, it's made up. Tell him where it is. You took the time to produce it, but yet you didn't take the time to put the little chyron, or most people may think of as chyron on television, to put the actual label or caption on it. South Africa on whatever road. If you ain't got the time for that, then this shit is whack. No actual facts of where it's from. No source of where it's from. It's just a video that he put out there to produce and some other dude talking. President should say, is that me talking? Said no. Then what I say and what that person says, whomever that is, that's not having to do with me. We don't believe in that stuff. And he was calm about that. Just like, we don't believe in what they're talking about, and I don't even know what that is. But that's not how we believe. This is what we believe, and this is what we believe. And he's sitting here listening to the president of their country and disrespecting his understanding of what's going on in his country, which he would know more, we would know better. And then watching some video that a bunch of white racists put together to validate their racism, and no validation as to this is real. I've been trying to find that video all day, can't find it. I'm like, is it AI? Is it real? I have no clue. I can't find the source, but trust me, I'm looking into that shit. I don't trust them. It's sad when our leaders lie so much and not held accountable. This is the problem with this country. I remember when the first time I heard a politician, it was a Republican, that was on the air, I think in 2017, 18, whatever. He got caught in a lie. And he literally said, there's no punishment for telling the people a lie. I have no obligation to tell you the truth. And he was talking to the news, which is talking to us. I have no obligation to tell the American people the truth. Put me under oath and then I'll tell the truth. But outside of that, I don't have to tell you the truth. And I'm like, people don't elect you to lie to them. Just because you can't go to jail because of it, you want to sit here and tell us that you can just lie to our faces just because you want to. But the only time you're going to tell us somewhat of the truth, if we can prove it for one, and for two, being under oath. I knew then that this politician and any other one that you can catch in lies are trash. They need to go. It's going to take the American people to finally wake up and say, hey, look, I'm not accepting that shit anymore. I'm not accepting lies anymore. Not no white lie, no half lie, no whatever lie. No lies I accept. Absolutely none. When you start accepting lies, these fools come out to be very creative and giving you a quarter of the truth and 3/4 of a lie. And you sit here and think like, oh, he's telling me the truth. And then you look into it and find out, no, he's telling you a lie, but shining it with a shade of truth. I can't stand liars. I don't understand why you got to do it. If you're too weak to face the truth, then get out of positions of power. Go work somewhere where weak people should be. We should not be putting weak people, deceitful people in positions of power. What do you expect from them if they show you that they're easily a liar, that they show no remorse. They can look you in the face just as calm and looking very honest as can be, and knowing damn well what they're delivering is a lie. Think about this for a hot second. For them to do that, just like they did with this man today, the president of South Africa, when they greeted him, they had a smile on their face. In the back of their mind, we get ready to fuck him over. In their face, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You great. Oh yeah, wonderful. Look at the place. Want something to eat? Want something to drink? And have already plotted to fuck him over. A whole production of lies on him and his country to degrade him in this country. And if anybody did that to an American president, they would go apeshit. But no, set him up for failure on purpose. And these failures were lies. And the ones that may be true had no facts behind them, had no like valid source. It was just, believe me. Well, I don't believe you. Not until that shit comes out to be factual. You give us a source and where you got it so that we can be able to backtrack, or whatever investigative reporter can backtrack to see if the shit is real. But here's the thing about the way Trump operates. By the time you find out that this was a complete lie, what they tried to accomplish has already succeeded. Their nincompoops have already made it the truth, and they're out spreading it to the whole globe. And because they are white, people start to believe they're telling the truth. The most devious, most demonic type of person in this world is a white person that lies to you with a straight face. Because people believe them off of their whiteness. That's their credibility. And they know that. That's one of their privileges. To look innocent and then show you either white tears or white lies, and all of a sudden it goes around the globe 700 times before you find out the truth. And when you find out the truth, everybody already believed in the lie. Woke, their lie. Not what woke means. DEI, their lie. It's not what DEI means. But you got white people all over the world, even people all different other cultures and shit like that, out there saying that lie, replacing the truth. Only because they were white, they looked like they were saying stuff in a really kind way and protecting people. Oh, I'm honest. Knowing when they started it, they were lying through their teeth. They were being devious as anybody can be. And because of their whiteness, people believed them. And they know that's what they wield. We have to destroy that. Because it's that's destroying this country. 100%. These racist people getting other people of different colors and races and creeds to reiterate their racism, but hidden under words and terms that seem benign, but highly cancerous and poisonous. And they know it strategically. They have been doing this for centuries. It is like breathing to them. To confuse and conflate the truth for their own gain. Not giving a damn about what it does to you, other than the fact that you believe them over the truth. There's too many millions of people that believe in the lies so much that it has seeped into their system. And they think it's the truth. And anything that negates that, like facts, they get into their feelings and like, no, I'm already poisoned with all these lies. You can't heal me with the truth. They don't want to be healed. They'd rather die from the disease of hatred and racism than to live with the truth. And that's what happened today. Now, and that president, excuse me, before I go there, because I'm not like anybody of power. South African President Cyril, how you say, Ramaphosa? Hopefully I get it right. As on behalf of this American, I'm sorry that our dipshit president treated you that way. I don't know what's true and what's not true, but you're innocent until proven guilty in this country. And so far you're innocent until I can validate said videos. I will not condemn somebody because that's the way our fucking country is supposed to be. But we've allowed this treacherous, disease-infested, orange-crusted bastard to do shit like this. But not for me. I'm woke and happy. Because these sleep fuck people are messed up. People who stay asleep when it's a fucking earthquake going on, I don't understand them. Something's wrong with you. Your equilibrium's off. You're slow. Because there's no way in hell you see this typhoon coming and you're just going to sit here and chill. I'm not. So another thing that drives me nuts today that I saw, and I want my Asian brothers and sisters to understand something, and especially if you are Asian and you voted for Donald Trump, I want you to understand something. The first wave of fucking with people and moving them out of this country has now moved into the second phase. Okay? And if you are not Venezuelan, Latin, and not Asian, but you are still of some other nationality from another part of the world, pay close attention what I'm about to say. If you saw those Latin men being treated like they was treated and sent to prison for a misdemeanor, if they did commit a crime in here, if they committed a crime in America, they should be facing the actual courts in America. But we have no crime that they've committed. Even if it was about being an immigrant in this country illegally, that's still a misdemeanor, and you're supposed to be returned back to the country from whence you came. As a free person, not as a prisoner, but you got imprisoned in a country where you committed no crimes, from a country where you have not been caught or prosecuted for said crime. Yeah, that's what happened to the Venezuelan people. And it's highly illegal. And like I said, Democrats, if we put you in power, none of this sitting on your morals, none of this sitting here like we're going to be high and they went low. Fuck that. I want you to go devil deep and send their ass to jail. Every last one of them. Pam Bondi. I want you to send her ass to jail. All of them. All of them. Christy Nome. She should have went to jail for killing a dog, but y'all gotta put her in jail. Yeah. Cash Patel gotta go to jail. Yep. That Dan Bongino, he's got to be in prison 6 feet deep. You can't keep these people on top of shit. You got to put them in jail. They're breaking laws left and right. None of them have immunity for breaking the law. Not one. Donald Trump got it from the Supreme Court, and I still think you need to go back to court and get that released. Go back to court again and make sure that you can get that changed. Because one of the Clarence Thomas's clerk literally came out and said what Donald Trump is doing is highly illegal. You got his ear. Start filing again. That immunity shit goes away. See how much of this shit they do if you take his immunity away. They're going to stop doing a lot of this shit because they don't think he can be able to protect them. And again, these people are being snatched away through ICE, but they're being snatched away within certain states. The states need to start suing them, and that's something that Donald Trump cannot pardon them for. They have to serve their time, and they're not immune. These officers snatching up people doing things wrong, just like the military. I don't care what order you get from a president. If it's unlawful, your ass is responsible for doing said act. You can say no to an unlawful act, and these things are highly unlawful. The judges have said so more than once. With these Asian people who just got sent, a Myanmar man at least, a Vietnamese man, we don't know about their crimes. Allegedly, they're criminals. Oh, okay. So it's not about the MS-13 anymore. Now it's all about we're at war with Vietnam and Myanmar? Huh? I mean, when did this shit happen? It didn't happen. It did not happen. But for some reason, we're taking these people and taking them to countries for misdemeanors. And these people, even if they had committed a crime and paid their time already, you had more than enough time to excommunicate these people from the country. But you're saying they said one of them is a killer. I'm saying, really? So if he's a killer, was he in our jails already? Or were you trying to say you think he's a killer? That's what due process is for. That's what habeas corpus is all about. We haven't proven that. Just your word doesn't do it. None whatsoever. So Asian people, you're next. You're up next. Get ready to bat, because they coming after your ass next. It amazes me how cultures come to this country and kiss the ass of white people, and they're the very ones that have fucked you over in the past and that are fucking you over right now, and you still kissing the ass of racist ass white people. It amazes me how stupid that is. To literally kiss the ass of people who keep fighting you, unaliving you, raping you, beating you, stealing from you, colonizing you, and you still kiss the ass of the person who's fucking you over and talk shit about the people who fight, who and fought and died so your ass could be in this fucking country and live a good life and be a part of what's supposed to be the fucking American dream. It's a motherfucking American nightmare now. And it's all due to white nationalists, white men who are mediocre that think they're fucking supreme. They're no more supreme than a fucking taco from Taco Bell. They have fucked over everybody, even white women. They're out here telling women in general, but specifically white women, when you can have babies, when you can't. Keeping a woman alive that's dead and using her as an incubator to see if her baby will come out live. And if it isn't alive, they let her body sit there for months for their own, happiness, joy? What the fuck is up with people? That's her life and her family. Her family can't mourn that body. It's just a lifeless body right there. But they love that body. And they can't put that body in a respectful grave because racist ass, sexist ass, dumbass white men have made a decision to take women's rights away from them. I promise you, I am a man. But women, when you get in power, I promise you, I will vote for you that every time a man rapes you, you cut his dick off. I have no problem voting for that. I would be the first one to vote in line to give these men their just due. I am sick of sexist, racist, all this shit, classist. I'm sick of all of them. Taking people's rights away from them because you're too weak to accept the fact that you fucking mediocre. Why don't you pull yourself up by your mediocre bootstraps and become extraordinary instead of trying to fuck everybody over so that mediocre becomes the new supreme? You've always been a class of idiots. You racist fucks have always been a class of idiots. Racism itself is ignorance. Supreme without any facts to make you supreme, ignorance. Not realizing white is not a real color, ignorance. And the only reason the world is the way it is in the United States is we got too many damn ignorant people in this country. I vote to kick them out. If you want to kick anybody out, kick out racist white people. Please do it. I'll be the first one to vote for it. Ignorant ass white people gone, so that we can have a country that gives a damn about people and not about just color. These people are afraid of people taking over, so they're hurting other people just so that they can make their numbers greater. That's some archaic bullshit. And this country keeps falling for it because our people in this country, for some reason, are dumb as shit. Other countries can fucking get it. Healthcare should be normal that everybody has it. Why? Because I care if you have medicine for your illness. I don't want you to sit here and be like, $800 bill you can't pay, so you got to sit here and die in pain or at least live in pain. That's some of the dumbest, evilest shit you can think of. Every day, there is a child, there is a mother, there is a husband, there's a father, there's a grandmother that's dying from something they could be saved from if they had the money to be able to get the medication and the treatment. And in this country, supposedly the greatest country in the fucking world, we can't come to grips to say, you know what? If we could put trillions of dollars to make one fucking warplane, yet we can't put that same trillion to make sure that we have basic health care so that our people's lives are prolonged, and so that their insurance isn't like something that kills them. And if they can't afford it for a little bit, that they don't have to be kicked out or risk of losing everything they've earned their entire fucking life because they had one illness. That is evil. How is this the greatest country when we can't figure out something that countries that are much less than us as far as like finances and shit and economics have figured it out? Canada done figured it out. Other countries have figured it out. America, we can figure it out. We just don't care about our people, all while screaming, we love America. How the fuck can you love America but not love the American? Are you telling me you love the ideal of America because you don't give a damn about the people who live with you, live beside you, if you don't want them taken care of if they get sick? You know this country always has the poor, and they're not going to be able to afford shit. They're not going to be able to pull themselves by their bootstraps because they don't have the education or the opportunity to make enough money to be able to take care of health care. You know that's this country. Everybody knows that. So why wouldn't you want health care? Even if it was just for taking care of people at the bare minimum so that they don't get sick. Like preventative, free preventative. And if you had something else, you can add on to it. No, it's all about greed. You got billionaire, big ass companies. That's why Luigi's in jail right now, fighting. Because people in his family died, and he said, you know what? You guys have consistently, with healthcare, have a strategy to deny everything, even though people are giving you their money every month. They think you're going to be there for them, and you're not. That system needs to be revised, and you need to break those people down as well. Got something in my mind about it as it is, to be able to destroy the healthcare system and build it for the people. The people need to take care of the people if our government is not going to fucking do it. And there's ways to do it through technology, and I'm working on that as well. I'm a solutionist if you haven't figured out by now. I see the problem, I find a solution. And for those people who are billionaires and been fucking over Americans and not give a fuck about them, I'm here to love on them, not steal from them. Give them solutions that we can make happen through the power of American dollar and the American people, and fuck our government, because our government don't give a fuck about us. They give a fuck about what power they can have, what they can wield and make decisions. You got to understand something, government. You can't make deals without us. We are the leverage. We are the ones that buy from them. We're the ones that buy homes and shit like that for this shit to run. And if the people decide, fuck all y'all, we're going to stay where we at, we ain't buying no more shit from you till you do right by us, then you're fucked. Until the people can come together and unify, that's when the world changes. But if it stays the same by us being divided over stupid shit, that's why the world stays the way it is, at least in the United States. So when you start to see what I'm doing and it starts to benefit your life better than what they're doing, trust me, you'll come running for this system, because this system gives a fuck about people over profit, and therefore we'll make a shit ton of profit doing it. But it'll be fair as far as wealth goes by. I'm tired of being fucked over by what they call America, our government, and people seeking power and presidents. I'm sick of y'all. You ain't doing right by the people. You're doing right by your own pockets and by the billionaires who pay you, and that's it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of listening to your stories and your complaints and what you're going to do and all that shit. You've had hundreds of years. You're almost 250 years old. You ain't fixed it yet. We've gotten better, but you ain't fixed it. This squirrel, not even squirrel, this turtle speed shit, I'm tired of it. The people should be able to make this happen. The people. Now, and I'll be doing that. Like I said, I'm putting out the meeting for us, the members, to come out and discuss all these different things. It's a we thing, not a me thing, so I'll present it, but it'll be a we process. We'll start talking about how we can make the system better, because of the people is what's going to be helping design this fully. But that's one aspect of it. Now I was talking about Cash Patel and Dan Bongino. Um, they've gotten a little heat lately from their own MAGA because they made all these conspiracies up. Dan Bongino, huge conspiracy person, getting all mad and all shit, like his face turning all red and shit on his show, his podcast, making up all these conspiracy theories, having all these, I don't know what they are economically, but these MAGA nuts sending him hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on his podcast while he continues to keep this crap alive, knowing he worked in the system and know damn well what he was saying was a lie. But he fed off of these idiots. You got the same thing with Cash Patel. He working for the FBI and then comes out as some kind of a part of the administration before, and then all of a sudden comes out of there and realizes, look at the grifting that Trump does. All I got to do is keep saying the same shit. The wall, this, that, and these grifters, not grifters, but these MAGA idiots gave to the grifter. That would be Dan Bongino, Cash Patel. Now, these same MAGA people, they're pissed off at Cash Patel and Dan Bongino because they promised we're going to be locking people up and locking Hillary up and locking this person up and locking this person up for crimes that we believe they did. The problem is none of the shit they was talking about was real. So now they find themselves in a quandary. They have no actual facts to back up the batshit crazy shit they were speaking to the MAGAs. So the MAGAs are like, where are these arrests at? Where are these things at? Where are these things at? And then they get on a show and say, well, when we find things that have credible, laws broken, we'll be fighting for those. We haven't stopped. But you had already told your people that you had credible information. That inside you had connections, that you knew that these things were illegal. As soon as we got in, we're going to start charging people. You ain't charged nobody because there was shit you were saying wasn't factual. It's all lies. It's all conspiracy theories. And majority of conspiracy theories are complete outright lies. You'll have some that have a shred of truth. And then next thing you know, you got a bunch of nut jobs taking the shred of truth and turning it into this huge web of lies that started with this shred of truth and made a gazillion dollars off of it, but never have to do anything other than stick with the story. Well, now you're empowered. You got to actually come up with some arrest or your people are going to try to unalive you. I done told people before, what's going to kill MAGA is MAGA. They done told their nut jobs these things are happening. These people with the tinfoil hat, orange cretins, believe in these things so hard that they want to see heads roll. They want to see people locked up, and they're not going to see it. And as the far batshit crazy of them, which have already tried to unalive Donald Trump, they next. They're next. These MAGAs are going to try and take them out. I promise you that. Why do you think? Here's the thing that trips me out. Everybody trips off of like Donald Trump having 2 assassination attempts. They were both Republicans. And they try to push them off on Democrats. No. They were both Republicans. Ask yourself why 2 Republicans wanted to take out a Republican. Because those Republicans are the old school Republicans. Remember, the old school Republicans had some batshit crazy people, but they were the fringe, right? They believed in all those morals that they had and the structures they've been getting from Reagan and shit like that from back in the day, that brainwashed stuff that it was being told, all the things of why you are a Republican. Then they started seeing Donald Trump hijack their Republican Party and they went apeshit. It's like, this is not the Republican I grew up with. This is not the Republican that my dad grew up and his dad grew up with. And then a young kid tried to take him out. Why? Exactly. If it wasn't like everybody, a lot of people thought like, oh, it's fake or whatever, and his ear wasn't shot at. I don't know where he got that from. I mean, there's no rebuilding of an ear cartilage. I know that for damn sure. You can go ask what's his name? Mike Tyson bit his ear off. He still got the ear missing. There's no replacing that. Cartilage gone, cartilage gone. They ain't replace it with jack shit. His ear is fully there. So I don't understand that at all. I can't go into conspiracies. All I can say is that ear never a bullet never shredded that ear. Just 100%. That ear was fully there within days. That ain't happening. Okay, no matter what, if it was surgery, there would have been what do you call it? First of all, you got to find a piece of ear. You ain't gonna find a piece of ear. That shit got shredded if it actually happened. So I don't know what that's all about, but I understand for us to have seen, if I can't prove it, there were two people that tried to take him out, both Republicans. Mm-hmm. And Dan Bongino and Cash Patel, you guys are going to meet your makers by your MAGA. Because these nut jobs are waiting for an arrest. And you know damn well there's nobody to arrest. You don't have any facts to do so. The investigations have been had. You just didn't want to believe it. And you got your nut jobs believing that this conspiracy, the pizza gates and all this other shit actually was real. Yeah, those nut jobs are after you. I always tell people, be wary of supporting yourself, getting yourself supported by a bunch of nut jobs. Because those nut jobs believe in that shit wholeheartedly. They wake up and eat that shit like the people talk about eating when you wake up and you do sports. You eat it like Wheaties. Wake up every day, they get a good help spoon full of batshit crazy every day. And you lead them down a path. And if you renege on a nut job that believes in you 100%, don't send their whole paycheck to you over some stupid shit, you best believe you better come up with something. Because that nut job is after you. And I guarantee you, one of them is coming after y'all. Because you lied to them for too long and you took their money for too long and you ain't going to be able to rest jack shit. Because everything you made up is a lie. It's already been investigated. But that's what happened with Dan Bongino. And that's what I say to anybody. Building your world around lies, at some point in time, the person you lied to is going to believe you so hard that after they find out you lied to them, they're going to feel betrayed. They're going to feel like I spent all my money on this fool. I done bought all this Trump shit and it was all based on a lie. Yeah, they're the ones that's going to get hurt the most by you. Don't expect no Democrat to do anything. They ain't going to do shit. They're going to sit back and kumbaya it. It's your batshit club of MAGA that's going to try and take you out, which they've already tried twice. And I believe they're going to continue down that pathway. Let these people start losing more of their farms. I put out a video on TikTok. I put one on YouTube as well. I think it's a short, it's like 3 minutes or less, talking about the other story that happened and that I woke up and saw today. A farmer, I guess she's in Nebraska. Didn't see her face. It was just the audio. But we already knew that Nebraska only had months, within this year, if they're not given some kind of subsidy, which I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is going to come in like last minute and give them a subsidy of some crazy amount of money, of our money, to be able to try and save them from their farms. But a lady was speaking for about a minute or so, talking about how she believed in Trump, and 70% of her farmers in her community voted for Trump and they believed in Trump. But all of her employees that was tending her farm, pretty much, or at least I would say the majority, were undocumented immigrants. Now, you understand, undocumented, don't listen to Trump, undocumented immigrants are not illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are people who come over to this country and sneak over and don't try to get asylum, and you don't know they're in our country at all. You have no say, they don't have any documentation, whatever. Well, undocumented immigrants mean that they don't have all the legal situations, but they have to keep coming back to court, go through this whole process, but they get the right to work for a living and pay taxes, but can't take part in what those taxes do. They don't get no tax refunds. They put into the Social Security, but that Social Security will never come to them. I don't know the actual legalities of if they become legal and finally become a citizen, whether they get retro from their Social Security or that's just gone and just starts from the beginning. I don't know about all that because I haven't dug into that. But they're not illegal. But Trump has them all illegal. Undocumented is not. So all these undocumented people who was her workforce all left. They either went and got jobs other places where they wouldn't be in one gigantic spot like You can go to a farm and see a crap ton of them, and you got yourself a good 60, 75 people you can take in one day. Do you trust your farmer owner? Because they knew and they still voted for him. So you can't even trust the person you're working for. They could call them and have you all arrested. So they bounced. So they had no workforce and they're about to lose their farm. I don't feel sorry for you, ma'am. You or anybody like you. The 70% of you dipshits that literally voted against your best interest. She even said, we voted against our best interest. She said, it sounds a bit crazy. No, it sounds batshit crazy. Not a bit. You can't tell me you don't deserve a farm or a business if you don't know, first of all, what a tariff is. I don't understand how that shit is. You buying shit and don't realize that you're paying a tariff on it. Most of these things that you guys are getting are from Japan and China and shit. You don't realize. Okay. But the reality is you got these workers that you're paying and you're being able to buy this house and buy more cattle each year because you're paying your workers pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Paying them like $10 an hour, maybe, if they're lucky. You know what I'm saying? And you're paying them low money and they're taking care of your entire farm. You're raking it in like a fat cat. And you sat there and looked at, you know what? I'm going to vote for that dude named Trump. I know he says he's going to take it, but last time he did it to us, he gave us an enormous amount of money. I'll go with him. Maybe he'll give us another stimulus type check type thing. Maybe that'll happen. Did you know or did you remember the pain you went through? The tears you shed before they gave you that check? The last time? You rather go through that pain again so that you can possibly get a reward on the end instead of just pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. You want the government to give you a handout. Sounds like welfare to me. Sounds like welfare. You're waiting for a welfare check instead of just working your ass off and stop being lazy and waiting for the government to fix your problems. So hypocritical. To tell everybody else, poor white people, tell poor Latin Asian people, poor black people, people who are working poor, got 2 and 3 jobs and still not making enough that's above poverty. They're not lazy. They working their asses off and still got to get an assistance of $100 here and there from welfare or whatever it is to get by. And here you are, got a huge ass farm, and you're going to vote for somebody that's going to make you broke. Take all your employment away from you just so that you can get a welfare check that can possibly save you until he tries to fix it again. It tells you this country is filled with hypocrites. Every last person on this damn planet in the United States, for some reason, has no problem taking welfare, pissed off that other people are taking it. But they don't call it welfare. They call it subsidies. They call it, giving you tax breaks and all this other shit. It's money coming back from the government that you didn't necessarily earn. You just think you deserve it because you're either a business owner or you're a person who owns a home, or you're the one who was lucky enough that your seed actually took implanted in somebody and end up having a baby where other people have tried and can't get a baby. But because you got a baby, you're getting $1,000 back, while that person who can have a baby will never take part in that welfare. But it's okay. It's okay that you get that, but be pissed off if they come up with something for people who can't get that. But you got all these other benefits that you receive from the government. It's just hypocritical. It really is. It's highly disrespectful to those people who need it. Because trust me, every last person that's listening to me has received it in some way, shape, or form. Through a subsidy, through a first-time home loan, getting low interest from somebody getting out of the military and providing services and our government pays for somebody who is born disabled or somehow was disabled, you're receiving it. Everybody has. And for anybody who's receiving it to tell other people they don't deserve it, you're a fucking hypocrite. These people, if there is any fraud in it, find the people who are doing the fraud. Don't fuck over everybody else because we got a bunch of nitwits that decide to take advantage of something. Just find the ones who are taking advantage of it, because the people who need it only take it because they have to. Most people don't want to take it. It's because they have to survive. But you're going to make The many go through hell because the few are trying to take advantage. Kind of ass backwards, I believe. Thank you, Just Saying. I appreciate the memberships. Now, that farmer, ma'am, I'm not even sorry you're losing it. You knew. You said yourself you knew, but you voted anyway. My question to you is, why would you vote against your own best interests? I mean, you wanting Donald Trump to give you some kind of welfare. Why would you vote against? Why would you vote to put yourself in turmoil? Just so that hopefully somebody can come through with some welfare for you. I thought you was above that. It's insane, people. It's beyond stupid. It's insane. Did you guys hear today? His name is Joe Kent, the chief of staff under Gabby Giffords. Is this one S? Gifford. Yeah, Gifford, not Giffords. They got an intelligence like note or memo. And that intelligence memo was they commissioned to find out if there's any connection between the MS-13 and the Venezuelan government. They did their homework and found out there is no connection. So it's not true. It's a lie, right? Well, they go through, the court system and things of that nature, and then courts saying, you don't have any proof that this is a thing, and you can't claim that it's a war going on and use this Alien Enemies Act. It doesn't make any sense. Well, what happened is that the Joe Kent, who's a part of the on the staff, chief of staff for Gabby Gifford, they told the people to rewrite this intelligence memo to basically align with Donald Trump's assessment of that MS-13 is connected somehow to the Venezuelan government. You heard me right. Our intelligence under Donald Trump rewrote the intelligence of the individuals who were there that did the homework, that weren't a part of the Donald Trump sycophants. They had it rewritten so that it can say that the Venezuelan government is a part of sending the MS-13 here, and therefore we are at war. And therefore us doing what we did to those Venezuelans are legal. Now, if you gotta commit a crime to literally say that something's happening that it isn't, to validate your initial crime, your initial sin, it sounds like history to me. They're trying to hide what they did with slavery, right? By the same way that they did slavery. And that is to make it seem as though it never happened. Let's take it out of schools. So they're trying to get rid of the reality in real time that their first report memo, intelligence memo, says it's not happening. Can't apply it. Well, Donald Trump already applied it. And they literally had to rewrite it so they can align with Donald Trump so that he didn't do anything wrong. If you don't see corruption in this damn whole administration, I don't know what it is. Complete corruption in our faces. What are they doing about it? One thing I realized when I saw this today, I had one of those epiphanies where I said, I don't know about y'all, but America is a facade. None of this shit they've ever said is true. I mean, it says that no man is above the law. Facade. It's a lie. Forget all the Donald Trump getting immunity shit. Let's just take that away. Before then, we had the same situation. You got representatives, congressmen and women. You got senators. They already had a sense of immunity above the law of the American citizens. You got police officers that have above the law of American citizens. This shit has always been a part of America. They've been selling us this lie that no man is above the law. But every time a police officer does something illegal, you got part of this country that searches all throughout the fucking world to find out how they can make this person not a criminal, not break the law, when the law literally states what it states and they broke it. Donald Trump has broken the law so many damn times, and there's so many people that have sat there and said, let's not charge him for it. Why? If any one of us within earshot of me did 1/100th of what they did, what these people have done, officers to the president, we'd be in jail probably for the rest of our lives. There are people who have committed armed robbery with no bullets in the gun that have been in jail for a decade. Whereas we got people who have committed crimes in January 6th, they got exonerated and sent home. Ashley Babbitt, the woman who broke in and was running inside of a window after she was warned not to break in, that he had to protect, because that was the last line of defense. Behind him were the actual people that they were trying to come in and unalive. That gunshot saved everybody behind them their lives. Every one of those representatives or congressmen and women, the senators, every last one of them owe a debt, or at least a thanks, to the man who curbed it. Because once she got it, everybody else fell back. If not, as soon as she would have came to that door, they would have harmed those people the way they were acting. 100%. It was a mob. Somebody as a representative probably would have died that day. He was a hero. And here they are trying to make him the bad guy, which he was exonerated for all of it. But they end up giving her $5 million, Ashley Babbitt. For what? Breaking the law? Already committed a crime, trying to create another crime. Damage government property. You can get 3 years for that. Damage government property. And she gets $5 million. We in ass backwards world. Ass backwards world. If she should have got $5 million, it should have came out of Donald Trump's pocket, because she would have never been killed had she kept her ass at home or at that rally where Donald Trump should have kept them. But instead, on purpose, this man sent down a mob to do exactly what they did. And if you don't believe that, then just pay attention to what happened to him when he was in the White House. He was literally watching it like it was a freaking movie or a basketball game. His team was winning. Witnesses stated this fact. He gets into office and he wants to wipe it clean. And now you got Republicans talking about, oh, we're back in the blue. Fuck you. You ain't back in no blue. These people died. Officers who got hurt so bad, and the pain and stuff like that, and the PTSD that happened to them, at least 2 of them took their own lives after that. Some of them lost fingers. Others were getting beaten up so badly, you seen them laid out on the ground, knocked out. Another one was going to get shot, but he literally had to say, I have kids. And that's when the person decided not to shoot him. That shit happened. And they all got let go. And they trying to put the representative McIver, LaMonica McIver in New Jersey, in jail for tapping somebody on the shoulder. Not a weapon, nothing. Her hand was more powerful than the people who were over there putting up nooses and shit. Nobody ever asked the fact that they came and built a noose on property. I mean, where do you get these noose build kits? So organized, they got a noose set up talking about hang Mike Pence. The effort that was put into this was not no last minute, we just came and decided to do this. No, this was planned well in advance. These white nationalists planned it. There's documentaries talking about how they planned it. The Proud Boys was a part of it. Another group was a part of it. Roger Stone was a part of it. Donald Trump was a part of it. Matt Gaetz was a part of it. All of them, they knew this shit was going to happen. They planned it. They plotted it. None of them in jail. They all should be in prison. They incited it. They started it. They funded it. Stop the Steal wasn't just used this time around. Stop the Steal was started to do if they lost to Hillary. But they won. So Stop the Steal was something that they held off for 4 years, and then they lost, implemented. January 6th was planned 4 years prior and was re-implemented 4 years later. Go look it up. Do your homework. It's insane. But this country, the people aren't united enough around these things that we allow this shit to continue happening over and over and over and over again. It's starting to make me feel like most people don't give a damn about this country. Because if you did, you'd fight for it. I give a damn about my friends, my family, the people I love. I fight for them. I protect them as much as I can. I do this because I love people and I protect people as much as I can. But you can only protect people as much as they want to be protected. If you're not going to act on these things and you're just going to sit around and just let it happen, then why are you listening to any of this shit? I don't understand why people listen to the news if you ain't going to never do nothing to fight it. You just want to know what's going on so that you can be prepared to be fucked over? Or do you want to know what's going on so you can be prepared to beat it, to defeat it? Otherwise, it's wasteless news. I mean, what do you need to know about it if you ain't going to do nothing about it? I don't see people devising like solutions for anything. They're just bracing themselves for the bullshit that's going to happen. They want to be in the know so that they know when it's going to come for them. But if you're in the know, you should be fighting so that it doesn't come to any of us. Defeat the evil. Don't just watch it. Donald Trump's always got everybody on their toes, on their back heels and all shit like that. We need to fight so that he's on his back heels. To have them scrambling. That's how you defeat them. And that's what some of the things that I am doing. But I want to know more people out there doing it. I can't just do it by myself. But I really want to know those people, not just informing. I want to know those ones who are fighting strategically. I ain't talking about you can be a part of marching, that's fine. But that's still not a solution. That's just a part of the process. The solution is, what's the strategy? What do we need to do? How do we unify around certain issues? Learn what issues we have. Just saying I got an issue, that doesn't help unless I know what it is and you know what it is. Then we can devise solutions and then we can actively work on trying to fix them. But if we work in 1,500 directions the way they want us to work, then we're never getting anywhere. Think about it. Project 2025 took millions, if not probably hundreds of millions of dollars over 4 years to actually work. They had functions throughout the United States. They funded all of these podcasters to spread all their propaganda. Hundreds of thousands of dollars poured into these podcasters' hands, making them wealthy mouthpieces at very young ages, getting these people to believe in these lies and stop listening to the truth. Not debating any of us to come at the truth. No, talking amongst themselves to spread propaganda. Bringing their own people on to make the propaganda multiply, knowing that they were receiving a check either from our government, from the Republican National Committee conference, or from Russia and other countries that didn't like us, taking those checks without a problem, all while telling anybody on the left that they took money from Democrats, you're wrong. And it took investigative research and reporting to find out they were taking money the entire time. They didn't want Democrats to take money because your message doesn't go far. I took money, and I demonized those on the left who would take money. And what did Dems do? Oh, I didn't take any money. I'm loyal. While they're taking cash, they got you back on your heels talking about, I didn't do anything, I ain't wrong. They're taking money and laughing at all the way to the bank that their message is not only getting advertised, it's getting put out there so much among racist people and telling them to go meet them at these places and that place. And as you go to those locations, which you've seen some of these people go to, that black Republican, Steven, something I think it was, that guy, the Coon King, that dude, he walks up and he goes into one of these things, and he's a gay black dude, and they lit into his ass. Oh, you're a Republican? How are you a Republican? You're gay. It sounds like an oxymoron. Something. They lit into him. And he's still loyal. He goes on CNN. Fake news, he calls. He goes on CNN because Fox didn't want to hear anything he had to say. He went on to CNN talking about basically, oh, they're not all what MAGA's like. Those are just some outliers. MAGA is always good to me. He went on to kiss the boot of MAGA when a group of MAGA literally lit into his ass and said black gay people aren't invited to the party. They literally walked his ass, dog walked him out. He walking out with his head between his legs, sitting here talking about, let me get to a news station and tell them I'm still down with them. How much you guys sell yourself? They pay for people to do devious things and to sell their soul. Democrats don't. They think they're too moral for it. So the message doesn't even flow as much. But for them, they ain't got no problems with doing every demonic thing, every illegal thing, every lie they'll tell. Look at it. They literally rewrote an intelligence memo to fit their narrative when the truth was the opposite of their narrative, just so they can validate breaking the laws for immigrants in this country. And a big part of this country voted for people who do that to people and get pissed if somebody calls them out on the crap they do in life. These MAGA. It's insane, y'all. You really can't stop this. You're really tired of it. But those are the things that are happening out there. People are spreading lies, and we as a people have to figure out, when are we going to just become powerful Americans and stop relying on what the hell they're doing? They need us. They need our money. They need our vote. And if they don't do it, you're gone. If we create that type of leverage and that type of power amongst them, we can force them to do what America wants and not what a minority of Americans wants. Whether that's the racists and the white nationalists, or whether that's the billionaires and millionaires that don't give a damn about the American people. It's time the American people, with your dollars, with your intelligence, with your leverage, start to create intense leverage that they need us so much that if they don't do what the most of Americans want, we will fuck with their pocketbook. We will fuck with their vote, and we will take their powers away. We need to start looking for people who literally want to get into power that will abide by what the people want and not what they want to get into, put in their pockets. Rewrite part of the Constitution. I believe we need to do some more writing of the Constitution. And that is, stop being so fucking vague. Make this shit specific. Because when you say, like, for Republicans, like, and MAGA and all this shit, they're talking about, it says that they must facilitate bringing these people back. They know that that means that they must bring these people back, but no, they're sparsing it. Facilitate could mean that we actually have to buy the plane tickets. Don't mean we got to send the plane back. Say what? That's what I mean. That shit right there should automatically give somebody, and that's what I'm saying with these judges. Somebody in the regime of Donald Trump need to be held in contempt and throw their asses in jail. If you can't get Donald Trump, get his minions, because they don't have any kind of immunity. Get all of his minions and put them behind bars for breaking the laws of your state or state and federal government laws. These federal judges, put them in jail. Donald Trump can get them out for the federal, but for the state, they stay in jail. And do them the same way they do everybody else. Don't give them any reason why they're being arrested other than the fact that you broke the law and you're going to sit your ass in jail. You don't want due process for nobody else. You shouldn't get it as well. How you like them apples? Now, let's get back to the law. If you want to be treated the way you treat others, we could throw your ass in jail for the weekend, a few other weeks, until we figure it out. Before we figure out what we're going to charge you with. Every man or woman is equal under the law. And if you feel like you have the right to throw them in jail without due process, then we think you're the enemy of the state, and we have a reason to throw you in jail because we believe that you are causing a war within American people. This civil war you guys are starting, you guys need to be in jail for starting it. How about that? Things need to change, and they need to change for the better. And they're not going to do that until Americans, as a majority, start to say, you know what? I'm tired of the fighting and bickering. I want to know the truth, whether it be history, whether it be the future, whatever. And I want to be able to agree and disagree on certain things. But some things need to be off the table. What I do at my house and you do at yours is none of your damn business. If this person's gay, bi, straight, trans, whatever, pregnant, it's none of your fucking business. If they break a law, meaning like they break a law of raping somebody, beating somebody in the house, yeah. But all this other shit, y'all need to quit. I'm sick of that. Myself, I'm sick of that part of America where people get in everybody else's fucking business and act like you know better. If it is something that them and their God agree with, who am I to tell them that they can't do it? Unless, again, it's harming this human being and that human being. Those are just social contracts that we have with each other, which makes sense for the most part. But that's my 2 cents on it. That's my 2 cents on that. When you get to the point of what, of what these people are doing, even way back when I was talking about, bringing forth ideas like with not Rudy, but Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, their people being mad that they're not bringing anything forward. I want you MAGA people to understand something. These groups of MAGA are none other than Rudy Giuliani 2.0. They have said things that are complete lies. And once they get to court, that's when you find out. Like I said, they have no problem lying to the American people because you can't go to jail or be charged with anything for lying to the American people. But when you get under oath and say said lie again, you can go to jail for that. You can be fined for that. And that's when they tell the truth. Rudy Giuliani in court never said that there was evidence that the election was stolen. Matter of fact, they said the opposite. We're not saying the election was stolen. We're just saying that there's evidence that we need to find before we make a final decision. No, sir. You got to bring evidence to a court, not just some hyperbole. This hypothesis you have. Can't do it. Right? And that's the exact same thing that's going on now. This government is saying things are happening, but when they get to court, They have no evidence of it. It's some Wile E. Coyote type of shit. They got some Acme law that keeps blowing up in their faces, losing after losing after losing. But they're trying to win in public opinion, and they're doing that in spades. But these judges have to start throwing their asses in jail for bringing these false cases to court, and they have to start going to. They don't have like a policing force type situation, but they can put people in jail. They should be able to say, hey, wherever these people are, you're going to have to take them to some facility. They can no longer be in your custody. Something. I don't know what it is. I'm not a lawyer, but I would love to hear from lawyers to say, hey, look, if our government starts to go rogue, we had to have thrown some fail safes in this damn Constitution. And if not, we need them. Because if a president goes rogue, there's got to be a fail safe. And that's what's happening in this country. Trump and his minions have gone rogue. They're not following the Constitution. In fact, they're actively trying to write or rewrite it to benefit their demonic ways. None of the shit that they're doing, or at least the majority of what they're doing, is illegal. That's why there's so many court cases, and that's why they're losing these court cases. But regardless of losing them, they continue to break the law. So I'm asking the judges and the lawyers and the Republicans, or not Republicans, but the Democrats, what are y'all doing about it? And better yet, what in the Constitution allows you to do anything about this? Because as I said, the Clarence Thomas's clerk said Donald Trump is going down the path of the 25th Amendment, impeachment. Going down the path of impeachment, I think he said rather. And if that's the case, he's a far right person, not a little right. He's far right, and he said that about Trump. So Dems should have been jumping on that shit. I haven't seen it. Could have been something I missed. But I haven't seen them jump on Clarence Thomas's clerk saying that Donald Trump is getting very close to something where he should be impeached and kicked out of office. Keep looking out for that. You can try and find out who when he said that recently, but that's the way it is. I did write something for y'all. I don't know if I should read it or not. But it's all about this country and what we should be doing as Americans. I'll read it and then I'll leave. While I read it, let me put up, you guys can subscribe to the show if you like. If you aren't let's close that down. If you aren't a member, think about it. We will be having a meeting this Saturday at 12 p.m. I will be sending out the link either later today or early tomorrow, maybe. I've been working on it. And I'll go ahead and read this to you. And this is what I wrote. It's the speech I wrote is called No More Kings, No More Exceptions. My fellow Americans, we were told from the very beginning that this land, this sacred experiment in democracy, would be a nation of laws, not of kings. That under the Constitution, no man, no woman, no power would rise above the law. That justice would not bow to wealth or race or rank. That justice, that in this country, every person would be treated equally. From the farmer in the fields to the president in the White House. But that promise has been broken. Time and time again, we have watched the powerful walk free while the powerless are crushed under the very laws that claim to protect them. We've seen citizens jailed for minor drug offenses while senators inside gilded walls break insider trading laws and walk away untouched. We've seen working parents fined and threatened for mistakes on their taxes while billionaires hide billions offshore with zero accountability. We've seen immigrants, many escaping violence, poverty, and corruption, thrown into prisons, separated from their families, while politicians rewrite the facts to justify cruelty that would make our founders weep. Now we learn that Venezuelans seeking refuge were not only denied protection, but kidnapped, trafficked across state lines, and imprisoned for a misdemeanor. Their only crime, as we know it, was chasing the same American dream that brought many of our ancestors here. The law calls for deportation, not incarceration. But those in power, your power, by the way, twisted the law into a weapon. And when the truth surfaced, what did they do? They rewrote it. They altered intelligence reports. They manufactured a narrative that placed us at war with Venezuela just so they could cover their crimes under the cloak of national defense. But we're not at war with Venezuela. We're at war with cowardice, with corruption, with a two-tier justice system that spits on the very ideals we teach our children. Where is our equal protection? Where is our due process? Where is the Constitution that was supposed to belong to all of us? We cannot call ourselves a nation of laws when those laws only punish the powerless. We cannot salute the flag while letting those who desecrate it or desecrate its meaning rule without consequence. If the President of the United States can ignore the law and then lie to us with government-sanctioned propaganda, then what separates us from the very tyrannies we once stood against? America, this is your wake-up call. They don't want you to be woke. That's why they love you being asleep. They love the unintelligent people, the uneducated. But I'm asking you to wake the hell up. Listen to this call. This is the moment to decide whether you still believe in the promise of liberty and justice for all, or whether you're willing to surround it to those, or you're willing to surrender it to those who exploit vagueness, manipulate fear, and write loopholes with white gloves and gold pens. This is not about left or right. This is about right or wrong. It is time for we the people to rise and say no more. No more loopholes for the rich. No more free passes for the powerful. No more government-sponsored lies to justify injustice. No more rewriting of the Constitution in invisible ink. We must demand legislation, real, enforceable legislation that binds the hands of power as tightly as it binds the hands of the citizens. We must demand accountability for everyone, including the President of the United States. Forget that memo that says a president can't be arrested. If he breaks said laws, his ass should go to jail just like anybody else. And if that's the case, the vice president would take over. And if that person committed a crime, then the speaker would come up and actually be the president. But all of them have committed crimes and continue to do it. And we must not stop until the Constitution is not just a document, but a reality lived by every man, woman, and child in this country. Because make no mistake, this isn't about politics. This is about the soul of our democracy. And if we allow hate, white supremacy, and authoritarian impulses to rewrite our laws and erase our principles, then America will not fall by invasion. It will fall by complicity, by silence, by indifference. History has shown us what happens when the powerful are allowed to rule without limits. We've seen it before. And we're seeing the signs again. Trump may not wear a swastika, but he's wrapping himself in the same authoritarian tactics, rewriting truth, criminalizing the vulnerable, and surrounding himself with cowards willing to burn the law to protect their king. But this is not a monarchy. This is America. And it belongs to us. So rise, speak, organize, and above all, vote like democracy depends on it. Because it does. No more kings. No more exceptions. Only justice for all. That's all I have for y'all today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the donations. I appreciate the love. It's something that we've got to figure out some way, somehow. Because trust me, if we don't, the country that we love will no longer be the country that we love. And a lot of us already know it's far from what it used to be. I often look back on presidencies, and I promise you, not because President Obama was black, but because he was a positive human being. I'm not saying he was perfect, but I can tell you this. I can look back on when President Obama was president, when he first got into office. I can look back on that, and I can see how the world looked at America. He went on a international tour. This was President Obama. Went on an international tour, and the entire country act like the freaking Beatles showed up. This was country after country after country, a sea of people like they elected Obama. It was insane to see how much love they had not only for him, but what he represented for America. You can't get a bathroom filled with people that can do that around the country unless they're white nationalists to do that now for the president. We had a country that even I knew all the flaws in it, but felt proud of Americans coming together and overcoming racism, so to speak. I thought, not even saying it was over, but overcoming their racism so much that they would vote for a black man. And not only that, a black man that gave a damn about all people. That spoke, that motivated you to be your absolute best. That never went out of turn and made somebody just feel like shit just for no reason. Never called people outside their name. Somebody that you can look at and say, I want my kid to grow up with those type of manners, that type of mannerism, that type of respect for others. Didn't have a cross word to say about anybody, even when they said shit to him. Wasn't a bully. Was somebody who could speak love, positivity, positive energy into his most ardent person who did not like him. The enemy still gave him respect. And whenever this dude we have in office now, he was laughed at before, and now he's being punked by every country while he walks around acting like he's powerful. At the same time, trying to take a plane, which Pam Bondi allowed, to use as Air Force One, riding around in somebody else's plane. How do you feel as an American that another country's plane, we're going to be showing up in other people's countries? Is that the plane that your sugar daddy gave you? These people have no understanding of what pride is for your country. They're just greedy, wannabe losers. And we allow the greedy wannabes to win. And this is how it happens. This is the most simplest shit you could ever think of. You talk about basically ghetto, white ghetto. That shit's ghetto. That you're going to sit there and take a gift from somebody when you got one of the best planes that can take a hit from a nuclear weapon and still fly. And you're worried about, oh, wow, it's got gold in it. This is what America's become. And until we vote these people out, this is what America's going to be. And how much damage they cause before they get out of here, Who the hell knows? But we have to change it. Thank you guys for being here. Much love to y'all. And as always, I'll see you when I see you.